I'm going to be talking about plant medicines and meditations. I'm going to be coming from my perspective, my experiences, what I have done, what I do, and what my practices are. I shall be breaking down the video into two parts. First part, I shall be talking about plant medicines. And I'll be talking about the ones I have personal experience. I won't be talking about ones that I did not partake in. And number two, I'll be talking about meditation, the type of meditation that I do, and how it's benefited me. So, first part, talking about plant medicines. You guys obviously know me. If you've been watching my channel, you know who I am. I'm a huge proponent of plant medicines and any hallucinogenic or entheogens or any substances that can alter your ego so you can have a deeper dive into understanding who you are, what you're about, and then categorizing the internal energies within your body so you understand what these energies mean to you in relationship to the world. And so, depending on who you are, and before I begin, massive disclaimer, I'm not telling you to do anything, I'm not telling you to take anything. I want to recommend that you please seek out guidance, reach out to MAPS or reach out to shamans that are trusted towards your network or in your network. But please don't do this blindly. This is something that it's not to be just blindly messed around. Most people just take it for the sake of taking it. There are protocols, there's ways. You must do follow-up. There's a whole process to this. It's not simply, okay, I'm going to do it and I'm not going to have any type of protocol towards this and something magical is going to happen. No. Like any good system, there is a system that you must follow and go through with. And so let's kind of reverse and go through things that plant medicines and vis-a-vis even synthetics have helped me in my past. So I've suffered for the most of my life with severe depression. I think I'm born naturally that way, PTSD, and the inability to properly understand my emotions. Hence, I was a very angry individual in the past, and still my strongest emotion is anger. And so these plant medicines specifically have helped me really understand more internally of who I am, what these energies represent in me, and how I can utilize these energies in relationship to my environment. So the first one I've done, and this isn't per se a plant medicine, but guided MDMA therapy. Not just taking it and going, but having a very strategic protocol. And what MDMA has done for me is more, think of an onion, right? You have an onion, you peel away the layers. MDMA for me, because if you guys have been watching, you know, I'm more kind of like an alpha. I have a very strong masculine energy, none of this bullshit, toxic masculinity. No, I'm a strong male. I peel away the onions, and once you peel away the onions, or as Jung talks about, or even Jordan Peterson, the masks that you wear, you peel away the masks and you get to the root problem. And once you get to this root problem, you can play around with these emotions that you have. This gives you an environment that it creates the ability for you to communicate. Because before it's very difficult to communicate. You don't have the necessary tools or systems to tap into yourself to communicate. But what MDMA has done for me, it created the systems for me to communicate internally with myself and to understand the feelings that I was feeling and above all, why I was feeling that. And so I would recommend, if you guys haven't already, look at MAPS. They're running, I think, clinical stage 2 or stage 3 trials right now, and hopefully soon it's going to be fully legalized, or I think class 3 legalized in the States, so psychiatrists and medical practitioners can prescribe this as they used to long before. People kind of don't realize this. LSD and MDMA was illegal, and doctors were prescribing this, not MDs, but psychiatrists and people who work with more on the emotional spectrum, they were subscribing this to people. So that's number one. Number two, psilocybin, so magic mushrooms. And I know some people will recommend a hero's journey. For me personally, I don't recommend hero's journey on the get-go. That is a deep fucking dive that kind of strips away your ego, and you dissolve, you disintegrate to somewhere else. And it's not really recommended for people to start. So my recommendation, and once again, I'm only speaking personally for myself, is start with microdosing. And so once again, MAPS has a protocol for this. You can type in MAPS microdosing protocol, and you can see a system they have. but more or less microdosing is you're doing such a small amount, it doesn't have an innate effect on your body. But when you look in hindsight, you do realize that your day went different. Your left and right hemisphere are communicating a little bit different. You then realize how you associate yourself with the world and how you behave that day was very different than your usual self. And above all, what matters the most is analyzing yourself. So what I like to do is, and this will tie into how I meditate, is I like to analyze how I felt and what did I feel during these moments. And so once you go for microdosing, then you can go into like the 1 to 2 grams. The hero's journey is like, let's say 5 plus grams going up. That's mega doses. But the 1 to 2 in a proper, and this is very key, setting, and with a journal, with a mask, and obviously there is somebody called a babysitter, or depending if you get somebody to guide you through, you go through that journey of understanding who you are. But I didn't want to go into too deep. I didn't want to really talk about, there's other ones. There's, ayahuasca, Veni Boga, DMT, peyote, LSD. There's so many different things. I'm telling you the 2 specific ones that I use most on occasion to help me out personally. And MDMA, I don't use it a lot, maybe twice a year. And the microdosing of shrooms, I use it maybe once a month, right? And so these are tools. You use them when you need to use them. This isn't something that you abuse. This isn't something you just take for fun. These are systems that you have, process that you have, and you need to properly follow systems to understand the experiences that you're going through. So that's number 1. Number 2 is meditation. Now, I've tried many, many different meditations. TM meditation, Zen meditation, and once again, this goes back to finding out what works for you, because what works for one person may not necessarily work for you. And for me, what I found out the meditation works for me, because I'm a kinetic person. I like to move. I don't like to sit. Movement for me is therapeutic. And so my meditation is walking. And preferably, I like to walk near nature, whether it's a body of water, trees, etc. I won't walk with any music or phone or anything. Actually, for the most part these days, I'll walk with the noise cancellation headsets on. And basically, I just walk. I walk. I'll let my mind wander where it needs to wander. I'll let my synapses fire and connect. I'll let my brain do what it needs to do to recategorize the RAM memory inside my brain. And for me, walking is my meditation. If I don't walk every day, I don't have a clear mind. But it took me a while to find out that walking is my meditation, because, most people think of meditation as they just sit down. No, meditation is anything that you want it to be. It can be weightlifting for some. Some people like running. I like walking. Some people like Zen meditation. Some people like TM, Transcendental Meditation. It's up to you to find out the type of meditation that you like and apply it in your life. Like anything, I'm not perfect. I don't do it every fucking day. But for the most part, I try to squeeze in 3 to 4, very heavy walks. I'm talking about half an hour at least walks throughout the week. And so those are 2 things I want to touch base. I know many of you had questions for me about my experiences with plant medicines and meditation. I didn't want to dive in too deep. I'm going to actually save a deep dive with my friend UJ. We'll be talking about on a podcast in the near future about this, and about how both of these modalities, I think, have so much potential to help so many people in the world. All right, guys, I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions for me, leave a comment below this video, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.